Hello everyone, this is Tamer Aziz with you once more again with a new topic, with a conversation running everywhere these days, a hot conversation, a strong conversation these days about Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt, her race, her origin, her life in this time long ago, and a lot of things like that. A lot of people used several methods to figure out the answer onto these questions, her race, her origin, and a lot and a lot. And of course, everyone try all the time to find the correct answer about these points. But I use a special method which I'm using all the time when I want to figure out a special type of dance or folk dancing, and I want to know the meaning behind and the origin of this type of folk dancing, from its origin or from its people, how I can figure out these points with this special method I'm using. Also in this video I will talk with you about very famous two types of or styles of dancing in this time long ago, her era, of course, the Cleopatra or Cleopatra the Queen. In this time long ago, I will explain to you much more about these types of dancing. But let's start and I show you exactly my method which I used to figure out her origin and her race. Skeleton helps to reflect the shape of the body, also influences the body movements. One of the most important parts of the body which can show us or let us know exactly the origin of the body is the head. I used this method to figure out exactly the origin of Cleopatra the Queen. Of course, we have a lot of statues belongs to Cleopatra, but I use something very special, which are the coins of her era in this time. These coins belongs to her. Let's go and see what I discovered when I use this method. Now we're going to see the carving on the coins. I will start now with the first coin. And exactly you will find the difference, which I'm using sometimes also when I go look at the folk dancing with its people or with the people who they are doing on the stage. And please concentrate now onto the cheek, chin, eye, nose and forehead. The forehead is moderate, the eye is in a deep socket, and the nose is protruding forward. Cheek is swollen and it has a downward curvature, and of course chin is forward. But if you look at the head of the statue now, you will find it not closed, but it belongs to Cleopatra too. Now we're gonna do the same, or we're gonna look at the same points what I explained to you onto the actress head. With the first coin exactly you will find a big difference, such as the nose. Now it is not similar like the nose on the coin. The nose is bent inward, and of course the forehead is curved with a pull back at the top, and of course the mouth and the rest of her head. Exactly, it is big difference with the second coins. But if you look at the heads now, I mean the actress head and the head of the statue, you will find a little bit close to each other, but it is not exactly the same as Greek. With the last coin now you will find a big difference, which exactly the same what I'm talking to you. Or this is one of the methods I'm using most of the time when I'm going to dig deep to know exactly the origin of people who are dancing in front of me, and this type of dance belongs to them or not. And this way exactly can show us the origin of Cleopatra, which it is Greek and not from Africa. There were two famous types of dancing in the Cleopatra's era: the Pyrrhic Dance and the Dance of the Seven Veils. I will start first with the Pyrrhic Dance. The Pyrrhic Dance was a war dance that was performed by ancient Greek and Roman soldiers. It was named after Pyrrhus, a Greek general who was famous for his victories in battle. The dance was performed in full battle armor and was meant to simulate the movements of warrior in battle. It was highly choreographed dance that involved a series of intricate steps and movements, including jumps, hops, and kicks. It was often performed to the beat of a drum or other percussion instruments. And the dancers would move in a formation, often mimicking the movements of soldiers in battle. The dance was not only a form of entertainment, but it also served as a way for soldiers to practice their battle skills and coordination. The Pyrrhic dance was also sometimes performed as a part of religious festivals and other public celebrations. Also, the Pyrrhic dance was originally performed by Greek and Roman soldiers, as I told you. Its influence can be seen in other cultures as well. For example, the traditional martial arts of Okinawa, Japan, include a form of dance called the kata, which is similar in many ways to the Pyrrhic dance. As I see now in my perspective also, there is a big difference between this type of dancing, this type of movements and dancing. And of course, in my next video, I will explain you much more about this difference, of course, and I will explain you much more how you can figure out the difference between both and to know exactly the meaning of dance steps and this type of movements. The Dance of the Seven Veils is a famous dance associated with the story of Salome, who was a biblical figure and a stepdaughter of King Herod. According to the story, Salome performed the dance for Herod in order to please him. And as a reward, she asked for the head of John the Baptist on a platter. The dance is often depicted as a seductive and sensual dance, with Salome slowly removing seven veils as she dances. However, the actual details of the dance are not described in the Bible, and the dance has been interpreted and reimagined in many different ways over the years. The origin of the Dance of the Seven Veils are unclear, but it may have its roots in ancient Middle Eastern dance traditions. In these cultures, the dance was often used as a form of worship and was associated with the fertility, sensuality, and the divine feminine. The Dance of the Seven Veils has been a popular subject in art and literature throughout history, and it continues to be performed in various forms to this day. However, some modern interpretation of the dance have moved away from the seductive and erotic connotations and have instead of focused on the dance as a symbol of empowerment and liberation for women. Certainly, the Dance of the Seven Veils has been a popular subject in art, literature, and music for centuries. Many famous artists and writers such as Oscar Wilde, Richard Strauss, and Gustave Moreau have depicted or reflected the dance in their work. In some interpretation of the dance, Salome is portrayed as a powerful and independent woman who uses her beauty and sensuality to manipulate men. In others, she is seen as a victim of male desires and violence. The dance has also been interpreted as a commentary on the relationship between sex power and violence, and has been used as a symbol of a female empowerment and resistance. In more recent times, the dance of the Seven Veils has been reimagined and performed in a variety of ways, often reflecting contemporary culture and political issues. For example, some modern productions of the dance have focused on issues of race, gender, and sexuality, while others have used the dance to explore themes of globalization, consumerism, and the environment. Despite the many different interpretations and variations of the dance, the image of a woman slowly removing seven veils as she dances remains a powerful and enduring the symbol of the sensuality, mystery, and seduction. These were the explanation of the two famous dances in Cleopatra's era, and of course the method I used to know exactly her origin. And of course I will be waiting for your comments or any question you have. Thank you very much and see you in my next video.